It was a chilly autumn evening, the kind where the wind howls through the trees and the leaves rustle like whispers in the dark. As the sun dipped below the horizon, a small town nestled in the heart of the woods prepared for another night. But this night was different. It was the night of the harvest moon, and with it came an ancient legend that the townsfolk dared not speak of. The harvest moon hung low in the sky, its eerie glow casting long shadows that danced across the cobblestone streets. The townsfolk hurried to their homes, locking doors and drawing curtains, whispering prayers to ward off the spirits that were said to roam freely on this night. In the centre of town stood an old creaky wooden sign that read, "Welcome to Eliza's Hollow." The legend of Eliza, a vengeful spirit who haunted the town every harvest moon, was a tale passed down through generations. Some believed it was just a story to scare children, but others knew better. As the lanterns flickered, casting ghostly shadows on the walls, the air grew thick with anticipation. The townsfolk knew that once the harvest moon reached its peak, Eliza would return, and they could only hope to survive the night. Long ago, in this very town, there lived a woman named Eliza. She was known for her beauty and kindness, but she had a secret. Eliza was a healer, someone who could mend broken bones and soothe the sick with her herbal remedies. However, her gifts came at a price. The townspeople, fearful of her powers, accused her of witchcraft. In a frenzy, they turned against her, and one fateful night they dragged her to the edge of the woods, where they bound her to an ancient oak tree and set her ablaze. As the flames consumed her, Eliza cursed the town. "You will hear my whispers in the shadows, and on the night of the harvest moon, I will return to claim what is mine." Her voice echoed through the trees, a haunting promise that sent shivers down the spines of those who heard it. The legend of Eliza has been passed down through generations, a chilling reminder of the past. Even today, the townspeople speak of her in hushed tones, especially as the harvest moon approaches. They say that on that night, the air grows colder and the shadows seem to come alive, as if Eliza herself is watching. Fast forward to today, it was the night of the harvest moon once again. The air was thick with anticipation, and the forest seemed to hold its breath. Shadows danced under the moonlight, and the legend of Eliza whispered through the trees, reminding everyone of the haunting tale that had been passed down through generations. A group of friends, Sarah, Jake, Mia, and Tom, decided to explore the woods, intrigued by the legend they had heard growing up. They packed flashlights, snacks, and a sense of adventure, eager to uncover the truth behind the whispers. As they ventured deeper into the forest, the air grew colder and the shadows seemed to stretch and twist around them. The moonlight barely penetrated the dense canopy above, casting eerie shapes on the ground. Laughter filled the air, but it was quickly replaced by an unsettling silence. The friends exchanged uneasy glances, their earlier excitement now tinged with apprehension. They huddled closer together, their steps more cautious as they moved forward, the legend of Eliza looming large in their minds. Suddenly, Sarah stopped in her tracks, her eyes wide. "Did you hear that?" she whispered. The others paused, straining to listen. A faint whisper floated through the air, almost like a soft breeze. "Eliza? Eliza!" it called, echoing through the trees. Tom chuckled nervously, trying to lighten the mood. "It's just the wind, right?" But deep down he felt a chill run down his spine. They decided to press on, but the whispers grew louder, more insistent, as if they were beckoning them deeper into the woods. As they walked, the atmosphere shifted. The trees seemed to close in around them, the shadows growing darker and more menacing. Mia, feeling uneasy, suggested they turn back. "This isn't fun anymore," she said, her voice trembling. The group hesitated, looking at each other with uncertainty. Shadows seemed to move around them, adding to their growing fear. Taking a deep breath, Sarah tried to stay calm. Finally, they agreed to turn back, their hearts pounding in their chests. As they walked back, the whispers faded, but the feeling of being watched lingered. The forest fell silent once more, the only sound being the rustling of autumn leaves. But before they could make a decision, the ground beneath them trembled and a gust of wind swept through the trees, carrying with it a chilling voice. "Why have you come to my woods?" it whispered, echoing Eliza's curse. Panic set in as they realized they were not alone. The shadows began to move, swirling around them like a living entity. The friends huddled together, their flashlights flickering as the darkness closed in. Then, from the shadows, emerged a figure, a woman cloaked in darkness, her eyes glowing like embers. "You seek the truth, but the truth is a heavy burden," she said, her voice a haunting melody. "You have awakened me from my slumber." Jake, trying to sound brave, stepped forward. "We didn't mean any harm, we just wanted to know if the stories were true," but Eliza's spirit only smiled, a chilling grin that sent shivers through their bones. "You have trespassed into my domain," she hissed, her voice echoing with the pain of centuries. "You will hear my whispers, and you will never leave." The friends felt a cold dread wash over them, realizing the gravity of their mistake. Eliza's figure began to fade back into the shadows, her presence lingering like a dark omen. In a desperate bid for survival, they turned and ran, the forest echoing with their terrified cries. But the whispers followed them, a constant reminder of the curse they had awakened. In a moment of sheer terror, the friends turned and ran, the whispers growing louder, the shadows clawing at their heels. They stumbled through the underbrush, the moonlight barely illuminating their path. The forest felt alive, twisting and turning, as if it were trying to trap them. "Keep running!" Sarah shouted, her heart pounding in her chest. They could hear Eliza's laughter behind them, a sound that chilled them to the bone. "You cannot escape the truth." Finally, they burst through the tree line and into the open field, the moonlight flooding over them. They didn't stop running until they reached the safety of their town, breathless and terrified. Time seemed to stretch endlessly as they ran, every second feeling like an eternity. They huddled together, glancing back at the forest, the fear still gripping their hearts. The full moon cast an eerie glow over the landscape, a silent witness to their escape. The next day, they gathered at the local diner, still shaken by their experience. They shared their story, but the townsfolk only shook their heads knowingly. "You should have never gone into the woods," an old man warned. "Eliza's curse is real, and the whispers will haunt you forever." As the sun set that evening, the friends couldn't shake the feeling of being watched. The whispers lingered in their minds, a constant reminder of their encounter. They had come seeking the truth, but now they understood. Some truths are better left buried in the shadows. That night they sat around a campfire, the flames flickering as they tried to make sense of it all. The fear was palpable, and the darkness seemed to close in around them. They knew that Eliza's legend was not just a story, but a chilling reality they could never escape. And so, as the harvest moon rose once again, the whispers echoed through the town, a chilling reminder of Eliza's curse. The friends learned that the woods held secrets best left undisturbed, and the shadows would always whisper their names. So, if you ever find yourself wandering through the woods on a night like this, remember Eliza and her whispers. You might just hear them calling your name too.